What happens when a man gives up the one thing he values most so that two strangers can escape danger and their father arrives before sunset? Welcome to Whisper of the Past. If you enjoy stories of courage and sacrifice, like, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. Let's begin. The summer heat rested heavily over a quiet trading post near the southern border. In 1882, travelers came and went, carrying dust from long roads, but one man always stood out because of the calm dignity he carried within himself. His name was Samuel Crawford, a former soldier who had built a modest ranch and survived in the harsh desert by holding on to his principles. That morning, Samuel had brought his most dependable animal, a powerful mule named Justice. He had raised it from a young age, and over the years, the mule had become his most valuable asset. His plan was simple: trade Justice for the supplies he needed to keep his ranch going through the next winter. But plans rarely survive fate. Inside the trading post, two young travelers sat quietly in a corner, clearly exhausted from a long journey. Their clothes were worn from travel, and their expressions held a mixture of fear and uncertainty. The younger one leaned heavily on the older sibling for comfort and support. Samuel noticed immediately that they were in trouble. He understood that they had probably been separated from their family while moving through the region, and now they were stranded. No food, no water, and no way to continue. The owner of the trading post, Macready, had also noticed them, but the look in his eyes was far less compassionate. He was the kind of man who would turn someone in for the sake of profit. Samuel approached them slowly, speaking gently, and the older sibling explained, in broken English, that they had been traveling with their father, but were forced to flee when danger approached during the night. They had been trying to reach safety ever since, traveling by night and hiding during the day. The younger one had injured a leg and could no longer walk properly. While they spoke, Samuel glanced outside and saw three riders approaching. Their pace was direct and determined men who were clearly searching for someone. He knew at once that these travelers had very little time. Samuel looked at the two siblings again, tired, frightened, holding on to hope only by a thread, and made a decision that would cost him dearly but save them entirely. He turned to Macready and offered him Justice, his best mule, in exchange for 2 horses, supplies, water, and one promise: silence. Macready agreed instantly, greed shining in his eyes, because the mule alone was worth far more than what Samuel asked for. Samuel worked quickly, packing supplies and helping the younger traveler onto a gentle horse. He guided the older sibling onto another, and gave them clear directions to a safe canyon passage miles to the south. From there, they could continue on a route that would eventually lead them to their family. Before leaving, the older sibling asked Samuel the question that had been silently hanging in the air: why help us? Samuel thought of the kind of person he wanted to be, of the loved ones he had lost, and answered simply, everyone deserves a chance to be with their family. The two travelers rode away just as the riders in the distance drew closer. Minutes later, the men arrived at the trading post. They questioned Macready, but he honored the deal, sending them off in the wrong direction. Samuel stayed a while longer, trading a few more items for basic supplies. Winter would be difficult without Justice, but he would manage. As evening approached, the sky burned with deep reds and golds. Then, on the southern trail, a lone rider appeared. A tall man on a paint horse approached the trading post, scanning everything with sharp, alert eyes. His face carried the marks of long travels and deep worry, a father searching for his missing children. The man looked at Samuel. Samuel looked back. No words were needed. Macready pointed south, mumbling that 2 young riders had gone that way. A flash of hope crossed the father's eyes. Samuel gave him a respectful nod, a silent confirmation. The man immediately turned his horse and raced toward the canyon trail. As the sun touched the horizon, Samuel thought he saw 3 distant figures coming together again, far across the open desert. A family reunited, moving towards safety. Justice, his loyal mule, was gone forever. But Samuel never regretted the choice he made. In the quiet nights that followed, when the desert wind whispered through the mesquite, he often remembered that day, not with sadness, but with a sense of peace. Because some sacrifices shape who we are. Some choices define the kind of person we choose to become. Thank you for watching Whisper of the Past. If this story moved you, please like the video, subscribe, and share where you're joining us from. Until next time, remember, the past always has something to teach us.